Welcome to Adventures in Paver Sealing. This podcast episode, we're going to be diving into the idea of caring for homeowners, a culture of compassion, and how the work Paver Protectors does helps people with their identity. A lot of people, we have talked through this before, Jeff, and that so many people are about looking their best, feeling their best, doing their best, and how Paver Protectors helps to making pavers look their best and sparkly and awesome and all that kind of stuff. So as we get started with this episode, would love to hear maybe a story or something you've had because you have so many Google reviews, as a reviewer, somebody has shared, like, I can't believe how much better my yard looks. And it's really helped them feel better, be better, do better. Any stories recently?
Yeah. Well, this one wasn't extreme recent. It was from a few years ago. But I had this customer, Michelle and Blaine McKinney. I always remember their name. They lived in Shadowwood Preserve. And they had their pool deck sealed by somebody, and it was just done incorrectly. Sand all over the surface, is extremely slippery. It was just a nightmare. The project totally went sideways. They called the company out, and they said, well, we could add more sealer. We'll do this to it. We'll do this. I don't really know what they did, but they really made a mess of these people's pool deck. And picture this. You walk out of this house. They have a multi-million-dollar house, beautiful yard, beautifully landscaped, beautiful pool, overlooks. I think they overlooked a golf course. Just absolutely beautiful. Everything's manicured. And the pool deck was just horrendous. It totally ruined the vibe of, I mean, they paid a lot of money for this house, but you're paying not only for the lifestyle, but for the peace and ambiance that the house brings, right? And the yard was a big focal point of their property, the backyard in particular around the pool. So they called me, and I went out and did a personal assessment and evaluation of what was going on. And this is in the earlier stages of my business. And the homeowner, Michelle, she was like in tears, like literally. Like she goes, I can't even enjoy this. I've had this company come out multiple times. It just keeps getting worse. I called other companies. They said they're not qualified to even touch this. She goes, I don't know what to do. She goes, we can't afford to just rip it all up and start over. So we assessed it, and we determined that she needed a paver restoration. And at that time, we were new at paver restorations. Clean and seal, we had done it for a couple of years, restorations. I was new at it. And I told her, I said, I'll be completely transparent, because I was referred to her by her pool guy. He said, this guy does the best work. He doesn't trash your pool. Believe me, because I clean up after this guy all the time. He goes, I'd give him a call. He thought really highly of me. I'd met him once or twice out similar properties. And they said, well, Jim recommended you, and so whatever you think's good. And so that was a lot of responsibility on my shoulders. How do I make this right? Because I don't really know what I'm doing. So I was transparent. I said, you need a restoration. This old sealer needs to be stripped off. And I said, I've never done it. I said, I've gone to a training class for it. I said, and I'm willing to do it, but I'm just got to be honest with you. I've never done it. And so I don't know how this is going to go. I said, but I tell you what, here's the price, and it's expensive. You know, it's like 3 or 4 times the amount of a clean and seal to do a restoration. I said, here's the price, and this is what it'll cost. And they were nervous. They sat on it for about 4 days, asked me to come back out again. And again, she's almost in tears. She's like, I put so much money into this, Jeff. I can't put more money into this if it doesn't go right. She goes, it's just got me nervous. And I said, well, I tell you what, let me do it. Here's the price. If it does not come out right or as you want, you can pay me this much. And it was like, it would have just covered my material at like $15 an hour. It just meant that I don't lose everything, but I won't make anything, So they thought about it for a day or two. Again, they were very reluctant because they just got burned by whoever did this job. They weren't qualified to do this job. And they hired us to do it. And I went out there, and I had my mentor, John March, had taught me a lot of what I know. And I called him. He goes, I'll do it with you. He goes, all I charge is $500. I'm like, for the whole day? He goes, yeah, 2 days, whatever it takes. He goes, I'll help you out. So John came down. We did it together. He taught me how to do this job. And we did it together, and it came out beautiful. So the end result, I mean, they paid the full price. They were happy to. According to her, she'd have paid double that if she'd have known it would have come out like that. And she's like, I'll give you a review. I'll give you a video testimonial. So I utilized all that. I got a video testimonial of her and Blaine, her husband, on the pool deck and talking about how much they enjoy it now and how the other company had totally screwed it up and, just gave us all this accolades. And so that was very rewarding. But the key aspect of why it was so important to look good is that was an extension of their living area. Okay. You pay a lot of money for views, right? They say location, location, location. You want to be on the water, you're going to pay more. You want to be on the golf course, you're going to pay more. They did all that, and the contractor disappointed them and really screwed up their perfect image of utopia, right? So we went in and fixed it, and it came out great thanks to John's help. But that's how I got started in restoration. And restoration has some downfalls. It could do some damage to painted surfaces in the vicinity and everything. But to get that right, it's got to be done a certain way. And just seeing how excited they were and the videos that they did for me, testimonials and the online reviews, and it made me feel really good. In fact, I used to have a picture that when I did estimates, I would show them before and after pictures. There's a picture of Blaine and Michelle with thumbs up on the back, smiling on their pool deck. That was a big thing for me.
Well, so many things to unpack from that. In our last session anyway, we talked a lot about values and culture.
Yeah.
And there's a piece to this puzzle about authenticity and being real and stepping into this. And then you did that. And at that point, you didn't know you were going to get assistance from your mentor.
Right.
And then your mentor was like, yeah, whatever it takes. So it's really critical when you find mentors that are parallel in terms of your values and culture. Openness, transparency, communication, care, compassion, all these things. It sounds like that was there. But on the other side of it, the outcome, how amazing. Many things happened with what you just shared. You learned a new way of doing things. You got that, I always call it the nuance, where you get the dance of how things are done. So often you can look at a list of things. This is how you want to prep the surface. This is what you want to do. But to watch somebody do it who's good at it, they're showing you stuff you can't put in a list. It's just the approach, the technique, the dance, whatever you want to call it. Sounds like you got that. And outcome, customer is extremely happy. You can tell, and for those of you listening, when a customer says they would have paid you double,
yeah,
that's typically a good sign.
Yeah,
that you're on that right path. So thanks for sharing that story.
Yeah.
So a big part of this, and we'll kind of go through the different services you have, is to understand what Paver Protectors does, and kind of go into each of the services, and then how it helps people feel better about their living environment, their life. And in many cases, this is what shows up in a lot of the reviews, almost 1,000 now. Congratulations, by the way.
Thank you.
And that is, you've helped them feel better about their life. It's like it's pavers, and it's making them look their very best, or pool decks making them look their very best, but it reflects into their identity about them feeling their best. And you play a role in it. Yeah. That's what I love about this work, is because it's very purposeful, meaning that it's tactically, you've got better looking pavers, but intrinsically and emotionally, you feel better about your life because you got them taken care of. And boy, doesn't that look good. Let's go sit on that pool deck. Let's enjoy that drink. Let's have family over, friends over, not be ashamed, in their case, about how it looks compared to everything else. Yeah. Have that experience. So if you wouldn't mind going through exactly what services you guys provide, and then any maybe other stories or other ideas about how it helps people have better identities, feel their best about how things look. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's funny when you say feel better about your identity or whatever. I mean, studies have shown that if you have a routine and things are clean and things are organized, you just feel better about yourself. Like, for example, there's one thing, it's why me and my wife are so compatible, is we kind of feel the same way about how things look and how things are organized. So every morning we get up and she makes that bed a certain way with the hospital corners and everything. Everything's tight. You can bounce a quarter off the bed.
That's awesome.
And nobody's going to see it. Nobody's going to see it but us. But it's like when you get up in the morning, that's just part of the routine, and you look at it and it's like, that's how I start my day. It's just like you brush your teeth, you comb your hair, whatever it is that you may not comb your hair, but I'm sure you brush your teeth. So it's one of those things where you look at it and you're proud of it, but it gives you a sense of peace. I'm a very organized person. So if you ever see my desk, I'm very OCD, but everything's got a place. Yep. My kids think it's funny because they'll go on my desk and they'll they'll move something and then see how long it takes Dad to recognize that I moved his pen, and I recognize it as soon as I walk into my office. But so with the services that we offer, the paver cleaning and sealing, which is going to make the pavers look their best. Okay, it's going to enhance the color. We also have a natural finish if that's what you like, but in most cases, people go with the enhanced look. It enhances the color of the brick. It looks nice. It looks clean and pristine. And when people pull up to their house, it's a sense of pride. It's not necessarily keeping up with the Joneses. Some people have that thought that I got to be the best house on the block. That's fine too. But when you pull up and you just see that it looks nice and clean and organized, it's kind of like when you get that haircut and you look in the mirror, it's like, I look a lot better than I did yesterday. Their house looks a lot better. And with that, we also do cleanings of pavers. Sometimes people don't want to seal or the condition is so bad that it just needs a cleaning. The pavers are so degraded. But from a maintenance perspective, you got a beautiful driveway. Now, how do we maintain that? How do we keep it looking like that? So you really only need to reseal about every 2 years. But mold is going to grow over time. And with Florida and the tropical humidity that we have here, the pollen, things are going to make that area dirty. So we recommend cleaning at least once a year, and that's what most people do. So we have a program where we come out and take care of that for you. So that way when you go on your pool deck or you pull up to your house and you see your driveway, it always looks pristine and nice. And people that live their lives that way, it's not just the pavers. You look at their landscape, it's manicured, the bushes are trimmed, everything's nice and neat and orderly. And that's the way they want to live. So when they pull up, it gives them a sense of peace. And the fact that we can do that for them and they don't have to do it themselves. We've had clients where we'll take care of their pavers and they don't want to do the maintenance program. The guy's like, I like doing it. I'm retired. It gives me something to do. And he cleans it one time. Doesn't even get all the way done. He'll be like, yeah, this ain't for me. It's too hot. I had a heat stroke. Or, I got sand all over me. I think I blew all the sand out of the joints. I didn't know what I was doing. So for people like that, they like to hire us to do it. That way they know it's taken care of and they could spend their time doing something else that they enjoy. So from that perspective, it gives them that peace of mind knowing that everything's neat and orderly and everything looks good.
I love that. The big part of this is this. This is I've come from the IT industry. Hard drives are going to die. Roofs are going to leak. Pavers are going to get dirty. It's like some of the facts of life.
Yeah.
And you guys have a program, the VIP program, that assures that people get taken care of over time and keep things clean and pristine. And taking care of, is come back to that identity idea, that even as things tend to get dirty and moldy over time, just because of the way it is here in Florida, you got them covered. And it's a big part of this unconditional love idea, that when we're taking care of customers, we got you today, we got you tomorrow, we got you in the future, and we're going to be here for you. So do you mind going into a little bit of the VIP program and talk a little bit about what that is?
Well, the VIP program is structured basically to take the headache off the homeowner, right? Yeah. So in their mind, it's, I got to get this cleaned. And some of our homeowners, our customers, they're not here year round.
Right.
They live up north during the hot months here. And then when it gets cold up there, they come back down and they enjoy our beautiful winters. So when they come back, they may have some mold, maybe some weeds have popped up. Maybe they got pollen all over their screen cage. Everything requires maintenance. So with our maintenance program, basically on average, people clean their pavers about once a year. Some more, but on average about once a year. So with our maintenance program, what you do is you pay for 2 cleanings up front. Okay, you get a discount on those cleanings, and you get 2 vouchers. You can use them anytime within the next 2 years. Now the vouchers, you don't have to have them to get your cleanings because we have it all on record. You paid for the cleaning, so we know that you got them coming. But people like something tangible as a reminder that they have them.
Yeah.
It's like buying a gift card from Outback Steakhouse. You have to have the gift card, but somewhere there's a record that you purchased that. They're not going to have that where they just pull it up and say, hey, nowadays there's apps where maybe it could store on your phone if you have a app for a certain store. But for us, we have it stored on our computers, but a lot of people are old school, and some of our older customers, they don't even utilize computers. So they want that printout of what they have. They tack it up next to their calendar on the wall. So that's why we do the vouchers. So just so you know, you don't need your vouchers to get a cleaning. We know that you paid for them. So you get a discount on those 2 cleanings. Use them anytime in the next 2 years. And when you do the clean and seal, you'll get a discount on that as well. And it's kind of like a 2-year program. So you get the clean and seal and 2 subsequent cleanings to be used later. And then in 2 years, we will call you to see if you want to renew the program, buy 2 more cleanings, and have it sealed again. As an added benefit, and probably the biggest one, is that price is guaranteed for life. So we call you in 2 years, you're not going to have any price increase. It's going to be the same. Because sometimes people ask us, well, what's the price now? And if they're VIP, like, oh, your price is the same. They're like, really? Wow, well, that's a switch. Nobody else's is the same. Yeah, let's do it. Wow. And, so people really appreciate that. And I know we talked about it before in a previous podcast, but that is extremely valuable. If my gas station said, hey, we'll give you a guaranteed price, get gas here, and we'll give you a guaranteed price for life. Well, when gas was $1.98, and now I'd be paying $1.98, and you're paying $5.
Yeah.
If companies offered that to me, that'd be ideal. I don't know of anybody who does, but we do it.
That is amazing. And we touched on this previous podcast as well, this idea of inflation proofing, keeping things pristine and clean as far as the pavers or pool decks, these kind of things go. And that's such an added benefit to this whole big picture of how we're really trying to help people keep a great identity through the caring of themselves. The thing that I love too about what you're sharing is that so often this is contagious in that if my paver's looking good, I want to make sure I have an equivalent landscaping company. So, and then part of that is they're out here maintaining things at the landscaping level. So it's like a contagion to assure that they're doing their very best as a homeowner. Yeah. And you guys like set this bar so high because we'll make sure to show some befores and afters in this segment of our work on the video side of it. But you'll see, here's what it looks like before, here's what it looks like after, and boy, is that identity shift. I'm thinking one particular before and after where it was a big, moldy, grassy mess. It was a pool deck. And afterward, I was like, that's the same place?
Yeah.
It was amazing. So,
sometimes we had one picture that I think we used in a Facebook ad. And I actually had a customer reach out to me and says, your work is so beautiful and I love what you do, but you may want to use a different picture. He goes, give me a call. So I'm like, I looked to see if it was his house. I'm like, maybe he's offended I used, it wasn't. And he goes, just so you know, he goes, it looks so good. It looks like it's Photoshopped. I'm like, well, that's the ultimate compliment. And it wasn't, I don't even know how to use Photoshop, but it was so good. He goes, maybe use one that's more realistic. He goes, I think people are going to think it's fake. And I've had a couple people ask me, like in our ad that we run in a local magazine, is that Photoshop? Buddies of mine, not customers, but I'm like, no, that's our before and after. I mean, I could show you the pictures, and they're like, wow, that is so incredible. And that's what we love about what we do is, man, the transformation is huge. Now, not every job is that way. It depends on what you're working with. If I'm working with a good quality paver, I can make it look great. But if I'm working with one that's 20 years old, it's never been taken care of, it's got oil stains, I mean, there's only so much you can do. And obviously, from an advertising perspective, we're going to use the ones that really look awesome. But we have some that they look a lot better to the homeowner. But if I showed you a picture, you'd be like, oh yeah, what's all that oil? I'll say, well, they had an oil spill. There's only so much we can do. Right. We're not miracle workers, but man, we definitely improve what people have. And one thing in common that I've noticed when our best customers, the ones that are on the VIP program, when you go to their house, when you call to schedule, they call us and they're like, yeah, what day can you come out? We tell them, they're like, well, I got the landscaper out that day. How about this day? I got my AC being serviced. They take maintenance serious, so they maintain their house is beautiful for a reason. All these companies are coming to maintain the part of the property that they specialize in. Yeah. And that's what we do. We specialize in pavers. So we got to work, all the contractors got to work around their schedule. Whereas the homes where they don't take care of anything and they're doing it only because the HOA sent them a letter, you get out there and it's like, you got to move the vehicle that doesn't run, it's on blocks. You need to have to get that off the driveway. So, some people are just reactive, and they're going to react to the HOA's letter because they don't want to get a fine, and then they'll have it done. And there's people that are proactive and take a lot of pride in their properties where it's like, oh yeah, I've had this done before and you guys did it. You did a great job. I need you to come back. And they've got other contractors there because it's a pride of ownership. Yeah. Whether nobody sees it or not, like at my house, nobody sees that my bed is made, but it's pride of how me and my wife live. Yeah. Clean and pristine.
Yeah. I love that.
That's how it is.
And it's like I talked about earlier, it's a contagion. The thing that I really love about what you shared is, and I'm a high performance coach, as you know, the highest performers are very clear about intention over impulse, building on what you just shared. So they're intentional about maintaining their systems. And when we break that down, what does it look like? There's specific actions that we have with certain rhythms. So an action would be to have my pavers cleaned. And a rhythm would be once a year. An action would be have my, and we talked about this before too, my HVAC, my AC maintained. The rhythm, every 3 to 6 months. The action, have my yard mowed. And in summer, that can be sometimes twice a week down here because grass grows so fast.
Yeah.
So that's a twice a week rhythm. So the biggest thing that I want to make sure the listener understands is what are the rhythms that support you having a clean, pristine landscape, paver, pool deck, but also what are the rhythms in life that help you be, feel, and do your best. And a lot of people, when you think about that through that lens, they're like, oh yeah, I have a rhythm. Every day I do 20 minutes of some form of cardio, stability, mobility, strength, endurance training, whatever that looks like. And that's a daily thing. And on a weekly level, I go for a longer run or whatever that might look like. So big part of this lesson, and it's kind of a side effect of the purpose of this podcast for the way we've structured it, is to assure that people understand these life principles that help you feel, be, and do your best outside of paver cleaning, restoration, sealing, those kind of things. But also really helping you inspire the world to be its best. So that being said, as you think about some of your more recent jobs, have there been any people who have shared, like, I've seen it in some of the reviews, but have there been any people who shared with you, like, you inspired me to take care of things better, or your team inspired me to do this better, or your team inspired me to take a look into that to make it better? Just this kind of ripple effect, we'll call it, in that regard. Anything show up for you?
Yeah, I mean, they don't say it that way, but I have conversations with my customers, whether they call to compliment us or let us know, hey, can you come look at this if there's something wrong? But sometimes we'll do a follow-up and I'll just stop at a house. I'm in the area doing estimates and I know we did this house recently, and I'll stop and say, hey, how do you like everything? And sometimes we get funny responses, because Larry, my operations manager, he'll stop in too once in a while and say hello. And sometimes people will be like, yeah, well, I did the driveway and it looks so good. And the husband will be like, yeah, so now we got to epoxy the garage floor because now the wife says, why stop there? He goes, but now it looks good. So we get compliments or comments like that.
Yep.
Whereas, one area looks really good and it makes another area look kind of bad. And it's like, well, we got to spruce that up now. Flip side of that is you do realize it and you want things to look good. We do, like, say, HOA community. Say if we're in a community where it's, say, condos and they have shared driveways, like it's kind of split, one driveway was split off into 2 walkways, or duplexes, that sort of thing. Well, it runs into a dilemma because this person here wants it to look pristine. This person doesn't care. And the HOA kind of will sometimes deny permission to do it because they don't want yours looking better than anybody else's. They want them to all look equal. So if they all look equally good, that's fine. But if not, they all got to look equally bad. So if you have that sense of pride, you want your stuff to look nice, and you're in a community like that, it's kind of disheartening because you want your stuff to look nice, but you can't because then it's going to shame your neighbor, and theirs isn't going to look nice. So sometimes what I'll tell people is, go to your HOA. We can come in and talk to your HOA board, put on a presentation where maybe we can do all the driveways. And as part of your HOA fees, maybe the HOA can afford to pay for that for everybody's to look phenomenal. But in an individual homeowner basis, it usually trickles down into other things. Like, well, now that that's done, got to get the landscape done.
Yeah.
And I'm that way at my house too.
Yep.
I mean, we make a small improvement on one thing. I'm like, well, shoot, that looks so good. Now we got to do this,
It's that never-ending list of advancement.
It's never ending. But again, with maintenance, you do reach to a point where it's like everything's on autopilot.
Yeah.
Pool guy comes once a week to clean, changes the filters once a year, whatever it is. My landscapers come, we're in an HOA where they just blow and go. They don't really do the best job.
Right.
So I got my own private landscaper. He comes to my house and he picks weeds and trims everything once a month.
Yeah.
And so I got him on a recurring basis. My AC company comes. I've got a generator that's got to be tested every so often. So I'm in a maintenance program with all these things because I can spend time with my family and do the things that I enjoy instead of being bogged down by all this maintenance. And that's the freedom that my customers really tell me they enjoy is not only does it lead to other projects, but at the end of the day, that's one thing off their list that they don't have to worry about, especially if they're snowbirds. If they come down, they've been gone 6 months, we clean it right before they get here. So they come back to a nice clean area and they can go to the golf course and do whatever it is they enjoy instead of coming down here and have a to-do list that's 2 pages long.
I love it because now we've connected the dots that Paver Protectors provides freedom.
Yeah.
I love that because that really helps people live the Florida lifestyle. And you and I you've been in Michigan in your history. I grew up in Michigan, and it was probably middle of October through April, where it was pretty much 6 months of gray, cold,
gray and wet,
potentially wet, windy, or snowy, these kind of things. And then we come down here, and it's like, I don't want to be maintaining stuff. I want to be living, getting out and doing it. So in a big way, Paver Protectors helps people get out and live the Florida lifestyle and enjoy it.
Yeah.
And it can be as simple as the pool deck's clean. I don't have to clean it. I'm going and enjoying my pool, sitting by my pool, having that maybe wine and cheese celebration at night as sunset goes down, depending on the angle of your place. We all know, I mean, you and I very much enjoy Florida sunsets. So the biggest thing this episode of our work is just assuring people understand when they have specific actions and specific rhythms and they're moving things forward. Paver protecting, paver cleaning, paver restoration, AC, gym work, getting out there doing it. They can really live their best life. And it's a huge theme for this episode is Paver Protectors help people live their best life. Any other thoughts, takeaways, insights from what I've shared? Anything else you want to share?
No, I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell is, if you've got a service that can provide you with something that needs to be done and you could set it on autopilot and take that off your plate, it is freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Like we joke around about the golf course or going to the beaches and stuff, but some people just want to sit down and watch TV.
Yeah. Some
people want to take their grandkids for a walk. It just kind of depends on what it is, but, my time, family time, I'm usually working on the business, but I have that dedicated time, which I call family time where, my wife, if we want to sit around and watch TV, go out to dinner, whatever it is that we like to do, it's just a chore that all the chores that I hire out, it's taken care of. It's one less thing off my plate.
Yeah.
Same thing with say paying your bills online.
Yeah.
You do where it's paid automatically out of your checking account. It's one less thing you got to do.
Yep.
People want convenience and hassle free.
Yeah.
And if you could just set it on autopilot, how much nicer is that?
Yeah. The thing that I love, and I think this is going to be a big bonus to this episode, is that Paver Protectors services Southwest Florida. And when we get clear about what Southwest Florida is for people that may not know what Southwest Florida means, can you go over the service areas?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're local to the area and you know Florida, or at least in this area, we service Marco Island all the way to Port Charlotte.
Okay.
That entire area in between, that's probably 2.5 hours.
Yep.
From one end to the other, I would say. We are going to be expanding other parts of Florida. We tried right before COVID hit, we were expanding up to the Tampa area. And when COVID hit, and then there were certain restrictions, and it made it difficult. It's hard to expand to an area that's far away to start with.
Yep.
So we're trying to figure out the logistics of that before we can open up a satellite office there. How much work do we have to have on the books to do that? We will be revisiting that. But so that's our main service area right now, but we will be expanding to other areas.
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
So when we break down Southwest Florida, we have Port Charlotte, Punta Gorda, we have Fort Myers.
Yeah, Fort Myers.
Lehigh Acres.
Cape Coral.
Lehigh,
Estero, Bonita Springs, Naples, Golden Gate.
Marco Island. Do you do Sanibel, Captiva?
Yeah, we do Sanibel, Captiva as well. Yep.
So we just want to make sure we captured all those areas, so we're clear on that.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. This is kind of the bonus part of this episode, is that to live the Florida, we'll call it the Southwest Florida lifestyle, are there any particular things you love to do or see or experience in Southwest Florida that is truly, this is the life? And if you want, I can start because I got a couple right on.
I mean, I feel that way every time I go to the beach. Now, I'm not going to lie. When I moved down here, I was at the beach all the time. Yeah. All the time. But it's kind of like when you start to, I don't say take it for granted, but I'm not there quite as often as I'd like, only because I live here now. And when I used to come from Michigan, I was on the beach 24/7. My brother, you want to do anything else? I'm like, no, I just want to lay here. I want to soak up the sun. But now that I'm in the sun 24/7, it's less important to me, but it's still one of the things that I really enjoy. And just a sense of community, especially towards the beach. You know, when the hurricanes come and wipe everything out, everybody's rebuilding, a sense of unity. It's kind of nice to share in that. And Margaritaville opened up.
Yep.
You know, new restaurants are opening up. So it's kind of cool to get back to the community and spend my money down there. But mostly, honestly, it's just enjoying the weather. Every day when I wake up, I never, having lived in Michigan for so long, I never take it for granted. I tell my wife, it's beautiful today. She's like, yeah, it's just like yesterday. I'm like, every day it's beautiful. You know, but it's kind of that way. You know, I wake up and I just take a breath of fresh air, and it's like paradise for me.
Yeah.
You know, it does get hot. Yeah. I got to lie, but I got a pool, so I jump in the pool, and we got air conditioning.
Yep.
You know, where in Michigan, when it was 5 degrees, there's only so much I can do.
Yeah.
You know, sit around, watch TV.
One of my favorite reminders of the blessing of Southwest Florida is there's a tree. It's called the Hong Kong orchid. And it blossoms with these purple, basically flowers. And they smell incredible. Well, this tree blossoms literally the moment the weather starts to go south, about October in Michigan. And it's done blossoming the moment the weather starts to get better. And where I'm from in Michigan, April. And so I'm out, and there's trees around right where the studio in the sky is.
Yeah.
And I either bike or run, and I pause, and I take big sniffs, and I enjoy that and realize the dream lived. Big reminder for us about this lifestyle and everything, and creating that freedom and living into it. A couple other things that I really enjoy. A lot of people new to the area, and I've got a couple people that are considering moving here from Europe right now that are going to be doing tours with me in Southwest Florida, is going down to Naples, even during season where it's a lot more traffic, because every road downtown Naples ends at the beach. And there's a lot of parking opportunity without having to wait 2, sometimes 3 hours to get out onto the barrier island.
You'll have to share some of that with me.
Yeah. So the concept is when we go down to Naples, we can go walk the beach. And if you're at 5th Avenue South, you can walk south for about 2 miles straight on the beach. And once you get down about a mile, the congestion usually lets up because there isn't a lot of parking down near the 2 mile mark. And so I'll walk down there and I'll walk back and then maybe park 2 beach chairs and an umbrella and enjoy. And then the other side of it is we can come in a couple blocks and visit and eat at places like the Continental, one of my favorite places with Chad and the team, running that since 2015. But also Jane's Organic Cafe. They're typically open from, I think, 7 or 8 in the morning till 2 or 3 in the afternoon. Great eats. This is just off the beach on 3rd Avenue. And then you can walk down 5th Avenue, Gelato & Co., Bartulia, Baba's, a Persian restaurant. Unbelievable. I've been going there over a dozen years. And they have these, they're called jujay kebabs, or chicken kebabs, where the chicken is so seasoned so well, and it's so tender. It blows your mind. And the part I love and why this connects to our episode today is that when you're in Florida, especially for us who had certain many years that we weren't,
right.
This is a year-round thing. Even in the heat of the summer, we can go down in the early morning and do that work or do that fun, whatever you want to call it. Get out of there, 10 o'clock as the heat starts firing off and then the big clouds start to build out. We always have those afternoon rainstorms and still enjoy this year-round. I always tell people, I'd rather have summer rain from basically June through front end of October in the afternoons and still have my mornings than to have 6 months of cold, nasty, windy, gray scenario.
I agree. Well, the rain too. When the rain comes in, it's only 45 minutes.
Yeah.
It's not an all day. Like where I live in Michigan, if you woke up to rain, it's pretty much rain all day. Here, it passes 45 minutes, and then an hour later, everything dries up, and you really wouldn't even know it rained.
Yeah. Yesterday was a great example. I was working in my office, and I went out and looked, and it was pouring rain. And I'm like, all right, I'll run, but I'll run in an hour. It came out an hour. It was sunny. That that big thunderhead that built out and dumped the rain had moved off. And I went out and ran. I did get hit with a little bit of rain on the butt, but it was great because it cooled me down. And that worked out great. So big part of Paver Protectors' sort of credo, goal, is to provide personal freedom. And a side effect is, if you want ideas for how to truly live this free life and have just fun and adventure, we got you covered too. And I give you a couple examples. You've got some. Another example is some of the parks. Like Lakes Park is by the studio in the sky. Yeah. And Lakes Park's got 7 or 8 miles of trails in there. They've got 2 big playgrounds. They've got the ability to rent bikes, Surrey bikes, the ones that have 4 seats and a little cover on them.
I've done
They
those.
got those Swan paddle boats and things. So they got water and they got land-based activities. They got that little train in there, these kind of things. So a side effect of this, and this is something that you and I believe in deeply, we care deeply about people's experiences, not only within our business, but without the business.
Yeah.
Meaning that if you come to us and are like, hey, I would like to have my pavers cleaned, or I'd like, for the work that I do, I'd like to see how you can help me with life or business, that kind of stuff. But can you tell me about what we can do that's fun? So you and I are great qualifiers for people. Like, well, tell me what you like to and do anyway. What's some of your things? Well, I like to watch the sunset. Oh, I got a spot for you there. Got a few, actually.
So beautiful sunsets. We actually, a lot of my customers, it's not just the joy of the clean house, the pavers, whatever it is.
Yeah.
It's the communities that they live in. So like we go to Twin Eagles. Okay. So the wildlife in Florida is remarkable. You go to Twin Eagles.
Yeah.
I love going in. I go in there to do estimates, or my guys will send me pictures. I've got pictures of deer everywhere. You go to Twin Eagles, if you don't see a deer, you
weren't looking.
You weren't looking. You weren't. There's deer everywhere. Yeah. There's alligators everywhere. They got turkeys. I think they're turkeys. I don't know, some big bird that's walking around. I think they're. I've had guys not in that neighborhood send me pictures. Customer had a zebra in their backyard.
Oh my goodness!
Like I've never seen that. But snakes. I mean, some people will be like, oh, I don't want to see all that stuff. But like at my house, I've seen snakes. I've looked out my backyard once in a while, see deer, black bear crossing, gators all the time because I have water in my backyard. But it's like those are all things where that's what I love about Florida.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes on our Facebook pages for the community, everybody's like, there's a gator out there, something needs to do. No, don't do anything. If you just leave him alone, he's not going to come eat you. You know, just keep your dogs away from the water.
Yep.
But that's part of the appeal of some of these neighborhoods is the nature. Like you mentioned, Lakes Park is right in the vicinity of your studio. And man, not just all the things you mentioned, but the fishing in there.
Oh, yeah.
And the wildlife, a lot of alligators, a lot of fish, good fishing. If you like fishing, Florida's the place to be.
Yeah.
Like me and my son, we bass fish, but the deep sea fishing, if you're into that, this is the place to be from here all the way down to Key West. And the way we're located, you can make a nice trip down to Key West for like a day or one day if you want. I usually go for like 2 days. Yeah. Key West is beautiful. The culture and the history and just the ambiance of Key West I really enjoy that.
It's such a step away from the concrete jungle.
Yeah.
Because you're going down US 1, essentially, and you can stop and party along the way and really enjoy that time all the way down. And there's all these micro pockets of unique kind of cultures and places to stop, eat, and just view. And because it's literally a barrier island, you go off one side and you're on the water. You go off the other side, you're on the water. And sometimes the 7 Mile Bridge is a great example of how you're on the water for 7 miles on a bridge up high. But there's great experiences to be had. And I think that's a big part of this bigger life lesson of the Paver Protectors philosophy and the way that you're really trying to serve the world is let's get you sorted. At least we'll play a part in that role. But let's also help you live your best life, create great memories, almost leave a legacy in a way. That's what my grandparents said. So many people that I meet, they talk about how my grandparents were coming down here. They were snowbirds. They went down for a week when they were working in the 70s, 60s, 80s. Then they stayed down for longer. Then they moved down here. Then my parents moved down here. And then I came down here. And here I am. And there's a reason for that. And it's just really love how that all connects together. Anything else you want to share about Southwest Florida in general? Any other things?
I mean, it's not for everybody, right? I mean, I've got friends that my sister comes down to visit a week, two weeks tops. She's like, I can't take the heat. She likes it cold. But I mean, it's just like paradise to me. I mean, there's a big reason why this is one of the main hotspots for people to retire.
Yeah.
Because they work their whole life so that they can relax and have a good time. And Florida offers that. I mean, if you like sunshine every day, if you don't like sun, it's not the place to be.
Right.
Because I love seeing sunshine every single day. And it makes you feel better. I wake up to sun. I can go for a walk. I can go out and breathe the fresh air. You know, when you live in a northern climate, it could be dreary sometimes and depressing.
Yeah.
You know, but Florida has a lot to offer, and it does get hot. But, you know, some of my destinations that I like to do, like if we go on cruises or if we go out to Vegas, it's hot everywhere. I guess I just like the heat.
Yeah.
You know, I just learn to deal with it.
Yep.
You know, stay hydrated, and it's not that big a deal.
Yeah.
But
well, as we wrap up, if you, the listener, would like Paver Protectors to help with your personal freedom, mind freedom, time freedom, all these kind of things.
Yeah. The freedom of dealing with removing mold from your pavers and constant maintenance and pressure washing, working out in that heat when you could be like doing casual things in that heat. We're the company for you. We take that headache away from you. And if you've got other areas of your house that need maintenance, like if you need a good painter, tile and grout sealing business, I know people in all realms of home maintenance. Reach out to me. I can always steer you in the right direction to some quality people.
Yeah, and it goes the same for me as part of this podcast, is this idea that if you need help and guidance on finding out what you would love to do, maybe you're new to the area, we're here for you.
Yeah.
We'll rock it out for you. So whether it's service related or whether it's lifestyle related, got you covered. So final note, contacting you, what's that look like? They call, they visit your website?
The best way is to call usually. Our number is 239-288-0705. You can always go on our website at paverprotectors.com. Several ways to get a hold of us. Emails out there too, but really the best way is to call. You get a quicker response that way.
Yeah.
Because we're so busy, especially my personal email, as you know.
Yeah.
If you email me, I'll get back to you, but man, sometimes it'll be 3 or 4 days before you even get to see it. So reach out to us by phone because we've got staff monitoring that phone between 8 and 5 every single day, Monday through Friday.
Wow. And the big part, this was brought up in our last episode, if they are on the call, they literally will call you back. So please leave a message.
Yeah, always leave a message because we do, we're very popular around here. So we do a large amount of calls, high volume, and I've got 2 office girls. So as soon as they hang up, there's like 4 more messages.
Yeah.
So obviously not every single one is answered, although that's what we strive for. We have our meetings. I'm like, I don't want any calls going to voicemail. Well, I know that's impossible because we do get such a large volume, but we call everybody right away. The girls do take a half-hour lunch at some point during the day, and other than that, we're on the phones all day long. So,
and that's a big part of our previous episodes where we digested what it makes and shared what it means to make an exceptional business. And that is unlike what a lot of people have shared with me that goes on here in Florida for them. Being from the Midwest, it felt like people were much more responsive and took ownership in what they did. And then a lot of people moved to, I tried calling these different people, not people that I'd recommend, but they didn't reply. It's been days. I've called them 3 times. That's not what you get with Paver Protectors.
Right.
So call, leave the message, call you back, take care of you. And then you go out or your team goes out to do an estimate, see what will work best for you. You even offer that expedited
estimate. Yeah. So with expedited estimate, if we're booked out, so like right now, we're currently booked out 3.5 weeks for estimates, and we do probably 10 to 12 a day on average, a lot. So if you want it done quicker, we don't want you to, if time is an issue, we don't want you to search somewhere else because you can't wait for us. So if it's something that you want sooner than later and you're really serious about getting it done, our expedited estimates, we charge you $25. Yeah. We'll take credit card on the phone, and I will come out typically within a day or 2. I free up my schedule to do 3 or 4 a day if needed, but sometimes those even get booked up.
Yeah.
But if you want it done sooner, my staff will offer the expedited, and then if you hire us and then we do the project, the $25 applies to your invoice. So you get the money back. It's just we want people that are serious about getting it done. Because I've gone out to some estimates and people are like, yeah, we don't even have pavers yet, but we're getting them next year. I just want to get an idea what's going to cost, and there's nothing to measure. And so they're not going to pay $25 because they don't even have pavers yet. So
that's interesting.
$25 is kind of like skin in the game. That shows me that you're serious. You want to get it done, and you want to interview some qualified companies. Let me go out there and present what I do and see if I can help you out. And then if you do hire us, we'll give you the $25 back.
Oh,
that's how we handle that.
Yeah. So wrap up today. Any final thoughts you want to share?
No, I just urge you to give us a call. I mean, if you have pavers or even concrete, these things do require maintenance. And even if you're not somebody who maintains your house on a regular basis, if HOA gave you a letter, I mean, we could usually get you pretty quick because those HOAs, they'll send you a letter. You get it Friday, and they'll say, if it's not done by Tuesday, we're going to fine you whatever amount of money. Yeah. So, I mean, we'll do our best to fit you in. But, most of our homeowners, our customers, they maintain their homes. They want it done right with a warranty that it won't go south on them, turn white, peel, flake, or turn yellow. Those are some characteristics of some other type of products that are out there, or somebody sealing it, not knowing what they're doing. We could definitely take care of them, and give us a call. We'd love to add you to our Paver Protectors family, as we call it.
Yay, so good. Such an honor being on a journey with you.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Charly.
Adventures in Paver Sealing, another podcast episode. Thank you so much, Jeff.
See you on the next one, buddy.
See ya.
Thank you.
Yep. Take care.